Hello, everybody. How is everyone tonight?
Hi, everyone.
We'll give everybody some time to get on here. I know it's been a while since we've actually been on, so. What?
Want to pin our website?
I put it in the, I will, but I put it in the thing too.
It's not.
Hope everybody's been staying cool.
Depends on where.
Yeah, it depends on where you are. I mean, but if you're down here, Texas or in the South, it's been miserable lately.
Yeah, tonight we'll just do a Q&A since it's been a while since we came on.
What?
Hot in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Hot in San Antonio. That's weird. I mean, we're right down here in New Braunfels.
I think it's just hot everywhere.
Hot in Chicago. Wow. All right. Never been to Chicago when it was hot.
$74 in Idaho. Well, I guess we're all in the wrong state. That's that nice weather. Oh, I didn't slow down the chat. Text in if you're on here, if you can slow it down. I forgot to do that. It's been a while, like we said. So. All right, we can go ahead and get started. We'll start with prayer and then we'll get started in the Q&A. So if everybody will bow their heads.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time together. We come to you as a group to further understand your plan for us for freedom and to help us learn from one another what you would have us to know to have the freedoms that you so graciously provided for us in the beginning of time. we thank you for the time to come together and have a meeting of the mind, so to speak. And we ask that you would just join us and meet us here to learn what you would have us to know. In Jesus' name, amen.
So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and just let everybody know we've been processing paperwork. We are the last part of May. So from about the 20th on, around that time, we're finishing up that paperwork. So hopefully we will be able to get that done this weekend into next.
Before we get started, we are not attorneys. We do not provide legal advice. We have attorneys that work with us behind the scenes that can provide legal advice, but Drew and I are not attorneys, so we do not provide legal advice, and we're not financial advisors, so we're not advising you financially on what you should and should not do. So just wanted to get that out of the way.
We've also pinned the website.
If for some reason you decide to take this video and use it for educational purposes, that is fine. If you're using it as defamation, please don't. And that's all I have to say on the opening stuff. So,
all right, back to what I was saying as well. I pinned the website at the top of the chat. So that way, for anybody that's new, you can go into the website. It gives you everything that you need to know as far as like how to fill out your paperwork. There's an ebook in there. There's the agreements in there. You can also create your account. You can upload all your documents into it. So, and like I was saying a little while ago, we are processing the last part of May right now. And we'll be getting into June soon. So, just continue to hang in there, and we'll get your paperwork done. Now, updates on funds. No funds have come in yet. Tara and I had to cancel our agreement. Like we said, putting it for the house, putting a house under contract is risky. But yeah, after almost 80 days, they decided they couldn't wait any longer. So they got another offer on the house, and we lost out on the house. So that's why we keep telling everybody it's important to wait until your funds come in before you try to get a house under contract, because we don't know how long it's going to take to get the funds.
With that being said, our funds are still scheduled, to go to the title company, and then at that time we will put something else under contract and be able to close on it as a cash deal, because they'll have the money still delivered to them. So once they receive the funds, we'll be able to put something else under contract and just use them as our title company. But yeah, it's not a good idea to have something under contract. I have a friend who has a family member that works in the IRS in Austin, and they are still processing the end of February and 1st of March, from what I have been told. So that's kind of the time frame. I think we bombarded them completely at tax time and with this movement. So they are on a hiring spree in Utah. Ogden, Utah's office is hiring 15 to 18-year-olds from the high school to come to work there. So, they've done a big hiring spree in Austin also, from what I understand, but they're still behind from COVID days and people working from home. So from what I understand, they're processing the February and the first part of March. So that means for us, we have some wait time. So if you want to go ahead and start asking questions, we'll do what we can to answer since we've been gone for a while, we had to take some time off, family stuff, and we had to take some time off to get paperwork processed and get caught up a bit before we did another live. Because when we come on live, we have a good amount of people that find out about us, you know, via referrals or whatever. And then we get a lot of people start asking questions and stuff after the live. So we wanted to allow ourselves some time to catch up before doing another live. So that's why we haven't been here. It isn't for any other reason other than we needed the time to just, you know, allow ourselves to catch up and be able to answer some questions for you on where we are. So.
So what's next when your 1099-A is accepted? If you've already got the agreement, you're just going to upload all of that into the website. We'll print that from the website, and then we'll file the paperwork. And then basically it's just waiting. Yeah. Just waiting till the funds come in.
If you're referring family members or friends or coworkers or anything like that to us, it's best to give them our website at jarrettrealtyinvestors.com. They can go there. There's educational information there. There's videos other than just ours that they can learn from there. There's the ebook that is updated through the website. If there's any updates that need to be made to it, they're made on a regular basis and updated. The website's really nice for housing all of the documents. So, you know, we'll be able to talk with you through the website, which will help, you know, help our email situation so that we can get back to you hopefully faster that way.
If you filed online 1099-A and you're in the next group, meaning your paper or process, and you get your hard copy 1099-A, can you send the wet ink copy now or wait for the funds to come in? You can send it now and I'll keep it on file. And then when the funds come in, I can send it as a corrected. I do not want to send it in and it get confused and then they start you all over.
Yeah, because we'll have to send some amended stuff whenever you go and figure out what you're putting under contract and what you're acquiring. We're going to have to send in some amended documents anyway, so we can send the wet ink signature with the amended documents, and that way it's not holding up anything. I know.
Are you filing all the paperwork before getting accepted on the 1099 OID? We're filing the OID electronically, and then we're filling out all the paperwork. So, I mean, by the time we get your paperwork filled out and sent off, it's already been accepted on our end. Because we try to file as many at one time as we can.
So some of these questions are in our ebook. The ebook, I would read the ebook 5 or 6 times thoroughly to understand everything within the ebook, because it tells you how to pay bills. It tells you how to fill everything out for the 1099-A process. It tells you, it has frequently asked questions in there, and it explains very detailed that. It explains the Form 56. So if you're asking any questions about the 56, how to fill out a 1099, how to fill out to pay the bills, all of that is covered in the ebook. So for those that have been here for a long time and who have done their homework and research on the ebook, we don't want to answer a bunch of those same questions that are already answered in there and take time away from questions that might not be in there. So if you're looking to pay bills and all of that, you look in the ebook because it gives you written out examples on how to do that.
Yeah, Chantel, it says, so it's safe to say hold your physical 1099As. I would keep a hold of them. You don't need to give them away. I mean, unless you got a whole bunch of them and somebody needs one and you're willing to give one up. But yeah, you do not need to mail those in to us. Keep hold of them. That way, if you need to have the physical copy with your beneficiary signature on it, then you can do that, send it in, and we can submit that. The ebook is on the website. So if you'll go at the top of the chat, you can log into the website. And when you go in, there's a place that says forms, I believe, and it has all of the documents.
It has other educational documents too that you can learn from. And it has like conditional acceptance examples and stuff like that in there too. So our agreement is in there. Pretty much everything that you need is under forms. Yeah, if you're trying to acquire a house and a car, you can separate those out onto two different forms.
Oh, we got someone in here that had a success story using a coupon back to Synchrony Bank, and they credited their account $900. So guys, it's working. It's just going to be hit or miss, and you can't give up. You got to keep doing it. You either need to continue to send the coupon back, the remittance, every month until they finally pay off your debt, or you need to send them the 1099A. But if you're just doing it once a month, or not once a month, but once every 4 or 5 months, they don't think you're serious. So
we're going to get a testimony page on our website also. So when we get testimonies like this, I'm writing your name down. I'm going to reach out to you and see if you would mind giving us a testimony on the website of how you got your stuff paid, so that we can learn from each other on how the process worked for, those who have testimonies to share, whether it be in court, whether it be you got stopped, whether it be child support or paying something off, or any testimony that you have that you could share on our website would be great, just to help other people if you're willing. So I'll reach out to those that have a testimony. And if you tell me that you have one in the chat tonight, or email me that you have a testimony, I'll definitely get you a way to share that testimony onto our website to help others, if you're willing. And then also we're going to have an affiliate page. So if you have a business and you are open to accepting 1099As, or if you have a business that you want us to partner up with you on and have you listed on our affiliate page as a builder, a contractor, anything like that, reach out to me and we can work a deal on that as well. Also, our Give, Send, Go link is not working. I don't know why. There's no phone number to call them. So we have emailed them, but I haven't heard back from them why it's not working. Everything on our end looks perfectly fine. So if you're wanting to make a donation to the people that are homeless or going through hard times, feel free to do that through the Cash App. You can just, you can either do it through Drew's Cash App or mine or through Venmo or Zelle. All of those are listed in our ebook. And if you don't have those or for some reason want, I can drop mine as well. I'm not sure if mine are in there, but you can send and say donation, and that's separate from filing. So we'll be using that to help other people that are in need until we can get our Give, Send, Go, which really it's better that way because Give, Send, Go takes a percentage. It's not a very big percentage. And I know that they are a Patriot-owned company. So, but if you don't want to have a percentage taken and it go straight to those in need, then you can donate by Cash App, by Venmo, by Zelle, in any way that, means that you have. In order.
So if you sell the house after getting the money from the Treasury and purchasing a house, does the money have to go back to the Treasury? And how soon after you purchase a house can you sell it? No, the money does not have to go back to the Treasury if you sell the house, but I wouldn't purchase the house and turn right around and sell the house. You probably need to live in it for at least 3 to 6 months before you start putting it on the market.
We have a lot of testimonies. It says how many people are getting success paying bills with 1099-A. We have a lot of success stories in people paying off lots of different kind of bills.
I've had a text about TJ Maxx credit card getting paid off. We've seen a story, a testimony in the Telegram group about a guy who tried it first time, $31,000 on a car gone. So
we have 2 testimonies to 2 vehicles being paid off within the last 2 weeks. So there's a lot of testimonies. This is definitely, the testimonies are increasing as people are continuing to, send in their negotiable instruments. And if you know that your paperwork is correct and you've followed all of the examples and you know for a fact that your 1099-A is done right, you can upload it into the website without going through the admins on Telegram. They're pretty bombarded right now. So if we have a lot of people that are asking questions that are not wanting to read the ebook, and I understand that you have work and you have families to take care of, and there's life that, keeps you from being able to study, but our admins need your help in reading the ebook because they are bombarded with questions that are answered in that ebook. And it would, if you could do them a huge favor as well and just read through that before you reach out to them and ask them questions, that would be helpful for them.
Here's another testimony. Hi everyone. Just wanted to tell everyone that I paid off my house. I was ready to go into foreclosure and stopped it dead in its tracks using 1099-A electronically. And right here, I had over 114,000 cleared using the coupon method. So if you want to buy a house and land, my thing would be to go ahead and calculate how much the house is going to cost along with the land, put it all into one 1099-A. Then when the funds come in, you purchase the land, and then you're ready for the builder to start. That way you're not purchasing the land and then turning around and having to file another 1099-A and waiting for however long for the funds to come in before you can start on the building of your house.
That's correct. Truth Seeker, if my 1099-A has been accepted online already, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do your process because the IRS is so behind. Correct. And that is correct. Yes.
No, you don't need to sign the 1040-V. The 1040-V is for us to fill out, guys, not anybody else. No, if we respond back to you from the website, it says when you respond to us via your website, does it send an alert to our email, or do we have to keep logging back in to check for a response? When I respond back to you, is actually an email back to your email address.
And for those that might have come in later into the live, the ebook is found along with the agreement and other learning materials under forms on our website. And Drew pinned our website at the top of the chat section. So you can click on that, and under forms, you will find the ebook and the agreement and everything.
How much tax do we pay on the cost of the house? The only time you're going to pay taxes would be when you first go to closing at the house or with the house. That should all be included from the title company or the closing agent or whoever y'all are using. But then after that, because it's paid off, you're going to
file a land patent and a low deal title
to keep from having to pay taxes.
I already have.
Okay. So any word on Chris Hauser? I haven't heard anything, guys. I tried to get in touch with him last week a couple of times. Went to voicemail. Have not heard back from him on a text. So I don't know what's going on. I had talked to him probably 2 weeks prior to that, and he sounded like he was fine to me. But I don't know what all's transpired since then. So I think the last time I talked to him was like the 1st or maybe right before the 1st of June. So
no, it was within that week.
Yeah.
The 1st.
I mean, all I can say is keep him in your prayers. I know that he's got some health issues going on, but I don't know exactly how severe they are.
I follow the ebook, so I'm going to read this one. I follow the ebook, and my mortgage company won't accept anything. They say I still have to pay monthly payments. That's going to happen. Our ebook is not a fix everything method. It is an example of how to do it and to keep pressing on. And if they don't, then you have to know your 15 USC codes. You've got to know your UCC and your USC codes to be able to start doing the conditional acceptance and that kind of thing, so that you can get remedy from that. Because that, and also pull your agreements and look at your agreements and see. In some of the agreements, they talk about negotiable instruments. So point out or highlight on the agreements, where they talk about negotiable instruments. Or if they come back and say that you can pay in US dollars, ask them what is the definition of a US dollar? you've got to start challenging them back in order to get remedy. So our example is not a fix-all. It's an example of what to do. And sometimes it works, and most of the time it doesn't. And you have to challenge, you have to continue fighting it.
So if you've already sent us your documents on Telegram, through email, you do not have to upload them to the website as well.
As a matter of fact, please don't, because it's already a nightmare when we have people that have, and I think this is getting better as time has gone on, but we have people that we're still having to piece together that have sent agreements separate from the 1099s, and when you have to, and then it's been sent to him and to me or several different places, and it becomes a real mountain of a nightmare. So having them all together going forward in the website will be great because it's all in one place. But yeah.
Hold on, I just saw
that he's working on something that's
and someone here just posted that Hauser sent out a message stating that he's working on something that he's going to benefit, that's going to benefit everyone, and he'll be out for a month or so. So that's good news that he's not like sick or whatever. So Professor Green posted it too.
And Echo posted
and
it.
And Echo, so good. I mean, so yeah. No, I saw a question. Oh, will I be able to pay my SBA loan off with a 1099A? It's in the EIDL loan. I got the same loan when COVID hit. I've never even received anything about a payment. So they've never mailed me anything, emailed me anything. I got the loan, used it for my business at the time as a therapist, but I've never received one notification that I have to pay that back. But if they're asking you to pay it back, then yes, you could use the 1099A to do that.
Yeah.
You don't write that. Have a tax company.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you're on SSI and you need a car, you can still fill out a 1099A. It's not going to affect your SSI. I know hers has been.
What is your thoughts on Davis? I'm not going to discredit anyone.
So let's see.
So a lot of people have asked, while he's looking at different questions, a lot of people have asked about the status correction. Again, some people cannot afford to do their status correction, and you've not had to do a status correction in the past to get a loan and have a fiduciary relationship or a trustee type relationship for them to get funds to loan you. So you do not have to have your status corrected for this to work. However, it's not a bad idea, in my opinion, to have your paperwork done. Drew and I have our status corrected because we wanted to recognize the fraud on paper, that we understand and recognize the fraud that was placed against us at birth, and to claim ourselves back on the land and soil jurisdiction with our God-given inalienable rights, and to make that a public record that we understand and recognize the fraud. Do you have to do that? No. But do I think it's beneficial to have it? Yes. So we provide that service. If you're looking to get your status corrected, you can reach out to us and we'll give you the information that we provide for that. And then it's your responsibility at that point, after we're done with the paperwork, to go and have it recorded at the county and state level. So the status correction, is basically what I just said, just claiming yourself, recognizing the fraud on paper, and stating that you recognize the fraud that was placed against you from birth, and that you claim yourself back to the land and soil jurisdiction and not in maritime jurisdiction. And there's a lot of documents that go along with that. So if you want information on it, just email me with status correction in the subject line, and I'll drop you information on what we provide.
So I'm just going to say it again. We are in like the last part of May. If you haven't received an email from us, you will get an email, or you will get a DM from Telegram when your paperwork is processed. The banks or credit card is obligated to respond to your 1099. You're going to answer. Are the banks and or credit card institutions obligated to respond to your 1099-A? In regards to fulfilling processing process, will they follow up and let you know? None of them have followed up and let us know anything. The only reason I knew that the Verizon had been accepted was because I had a credit on my Verizon bill. As far as all of the other ones, we've never heard anything from them. So,
and they've not paid it off, and they've kept the negotiable instruments, which means that they accepted payment because they didn't return the payment. So that's why you have to go onto our website. If you need an example of how to do the conditional acceptance, go onto our website and you can use that example. You're going to have to create it to match what you're doing, but you can follow that guideline of the conditional acceptance, because they haven't returned your negotiable instrument, which means technically they have accepted payment. And if you look at, that's where, again, if you look at your agreements with these credit card companies in different places, if you look in there, most of them say something about negotiable instruments. So
I saw a thing. Jose Gonzalez said that he actually will accept 1099-As for stucco work. We do have a contractor group in the Telegram channel that you could get into that actually is just contractors that are accepting 1099-As.
Yeah. So if you're a builder or a contractor and you're following us and you're and you want to be a part of that group of, if you want to be part, we have a realtor network, we have a notary network, we have a construction network, child support network. All of those are on Telegram, and because of the spam and things like that, we keep them private for your benefit and for our benefit, so that what's going on in those rooms, is not, has been confirmed that it's our people and not spam, hopefully. So just let us know and we'll invite you and drop you a link into those groups specifically on the ones that you want in. So just say construction group or notary group, or if you're a real estate agent or a broker or a title company and you want to be a part of that group, let us know. And we can drop you into those groups so that people that are looking to build or renovate, you know, we can refer them to you. Does status correction guarantee access to our trust, or will a trustee always be needed? In any trust law. Okay, this goes back to trust law as a whole. No matter what kind of trust you have to have a trustee. If you're a beneficiary, you can't access a trust as a beneficiary directly. You have to have a middleman involved. So it's important to understand trust law. You can research trust law, but you have to have a middleman no matter what kind of trust you have set up. So if you're accessing from a beneficiary standpoint, you've got to have a middleman trustee to act on your behalf. So the status correction, does it guarantee that you can just access your trust? You can never access your trust directly. Ever, not even with a status correction. Status correction is saying that I recognize the fraud that was placed against me and that I do not fall in maritime jurisdiction. I fall under common law jurisdiction, which is your God-given inalienable rights. But in this world, there's no guarantee on anything. That's how I look at it. You're not guaranteed anything. Not even tomorrow. So
I just put the email address in the chat, guys. I know people were asking for it.
yes. Do you guys recommend land patent and then pure trust? Absolutely, because you're going to get a land patent and roll that into a pure trust so that your property is protected. But you can set up a pure trust for your vehicles and everything. So if you own one of your automobiles outright, you can roll that into a pure trust also. So it doesn't just apply to homes. You can roll all of your assets into a pure trust.
Right on.
Blue Green, can you tell me how do I know if a dealership has gotten the funds? They just say they didn't receive it and lie about it. How can I reverse check? That's the thing. You can't. There's no way you as a beneficiary can't get the status of funds being released. And I know some dealerships that have responded to some people and said, we don't know if it's come in or not, because we would have to go back to accounting and look and see if there's, so I don't know how they track that. I think it probably is different by the dealerships. I don't know how they track that, but you can't track it. So that's why you have an agreement in place, like with us. As soon as funds come in, we're going to reach out to you and let you know that we've received funds right then, because we don't want the money sitting, first of all. We want to know what you're doing with it so that we can move that money out. So as soon as we get your funds, you're going to hear from us, or somebody within our team that's handling the financial stuff with us on what you're doing with the funds, or it's time to get something under contract or whatever.
No, you cannot print off the 1099-A from FedEx. It actually tells you that if you print that off, it is not a scannable form and it cannot be used. Mm-hmm.
No, it was a question that I saw. You can put a UCC code. Yes. I do have a question. You have mentioned at one time that you can put a UCC code on a driver's license. You can take a Sharpie and you can put UCC 1-308, all rights reserved, without prejudice, without recourse, on your driver's license underneath your signature. I know some people that have gone into the courtroom that have presented their license to the judge and gotten it dismissed completely, just simply because the UCC 1-308, all rights reserved, was put on there, and they're not supposed to mess with you at that point.
I don't know who that is.
If you filed 3 months ago and you haven't heard from us,
3 months ago, we weren't even doing this. So we've only been at it for just over 2 months.
Yeah, so if you filed 3 months ago and you haven't heard from us, you sent it to the wrong people.
And I know somebody else had put a question here to, y'all been doing this, I guess, because our website, we've been doing this since I went to court on the 18th of November. We've been looking more into a lot of this stuff, but we didn't jump into becoming a trustee until the end of March, 1st of April.
1st of April.
Actually, 1st of April. So we've only been doing this for just over 2 months, guys, as far as the trustee part of it. But as far as the studying and all and diving into a lot of the other stuff, we've been doing that for a lot of the stuff over 2 years.
Someone said, do you need a QSIP number? Everyone has a QSIP number. If you look on the back of your Social Security card, there's red numbers on the back of your Social Security card. That's your QSIP number. Everyone has one. If you have a Social Security card, you've got your QSIP number.
If we sent you a email stating your paperwork's been processed, we didn't just process one of them. If you had several 1099-As with it, then we processed every one of them.
And Lewis, I know I processed multiple of yours because I did yours. Yeah. I heard from the IRS is backed up 16 weeks to catch up. Yeah, they're working on February and March. So early March, from what I've been told. So I know we had someone from Pennsylvania that went into the IRS building there, and they had 15 cubicles and 4 people working. So there's definitely a shortage at the processing centers.
Yes, if you want to send in a hard copy with your beneficiary signature on it, you can mail it to us. But I will not send it in until your funds come in as a correction, because I'm not going to have it go in and then they start you all over again, and then your funds not show up, or they just take it and throw it to the side.
How do I know if you have my agreement? If you send it to me, I have it. If you sent you won't hear from me unless you've sent the copy Bs to us also. And if you haven't done that, then I would suggest uploading all of that together in the website. It makes it a whole lot easier on us to have the agreement and the copy Bs together. It's a whole lot easier. Here, can you scroll down some?
Mm-hmm. We won't stop doing the YouTubes. Probably right now, just do once a week until we have more information, more things to put out.
Yeah, or educational stuff. If I feel like I've got enough time to put together educational stuff right now, I'm just trying to process everyone's paperwork. So, and probably most likely a lot of the education stuff is going to be put on the website versus YouTube. I really want to be careful what content we put out on YouTube. So, you know, you'll probably be most likely find educational stuff on Rumble and our website. More Q&A stuff on YouTube, but not to say we're not going to talk about anything. We will, but most of it will probably be on those two sites.
Janet Yellen is my trustee. You guys are what position? We're still the trustee, but you're putting Janet Yellen in the fiduciary duty to distribute the funds to your trustee. That is why you're using the 56.
Look, if you wrote urgent in the subject line, it's not going to speed up the process with the IRS and the Treasury. That's not going to speed up anything. We can get you up to the front of our line as far as getting you processed and getting it sent over, but that's not going to, I wish that we had a quick answer to people that are about to lose everything, but we don't. We're trying to help you the best we can to get you up in the line, but we can't guarantee that anything that we do is going to make your funds it's not going to make it any faster. You're in line with everybody else. Unfortunately, that's just how this process works. So
I know you said when the funds come in, you will point us to a realtor, but if we want to use a local realtor and we've vetted them for awareness, can we use them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use whoever you want to. We just have the realtor network for people that are awake to this process, so that if you're looking for somebody, we can point you to one of them.
Yeah, and if you're wanting to work with someone that's like-minded like you, you know, and you want to help those people out because they're like-minded like you, and they've done their due diligence and they've done their research and they're on the same page as you, and you want to help those people out with their business, then yeah, we can refer you to like-minded people that are within our movement, but you don't have to. I mean, we have people that have family members that are realtors. I mean, we don't expect you to not use them if that's what, you know, that kind of thing. So that's just an option that you have.
No, you do not put our name on the 56.
That's, y'all go and follow the example that's in our ebook. It'll tell you exactly how to do it.
Our paperwork's been processed. I already know that. Yeah, you can accept a 1099-A from anyone. Can I sell my vehicle to somebody, use it and accept a 1099-A? Yes, you can. I would go to some of Hauser's videos, Midwest, any of those to look and see how to fill out the rest of the paperwork to receive your funds. Just know that it might take a little while to get it.
So the Form 56, for those of you that don't know what it is basically going back to your 18th birthday and making now Janet Yellen, who is the Secretary of the Treasury, the fiduciary over the trust, which she already is, but you're putting that on paper that you recognize that she's the fiduciary duty. Therefore, whenever I ask to borrow from the trust via a trustee or another fiduciary, that she has a fiduciary responsibility to release the funds to the borrower. So you can put her name and every successor following her so that you never have to replace the Form 56. You'll just have one on file from now on, unless you replace it with another one. Okay, hey guys, I'm in Illinois and I've sent emails along with my broker to no avail. I've been trying since April 5th. Can you please help me? My broker would like a follow-up from one of you. We said this a long time ago, because of the length of time that it's taking to get the funds in, we have advised to not put anything under contract. So if you have something under contract and your broker is calling us to get a verification or proof of funds, we're not answering those calls because we don't have proof of funds to give them. So, plus, if you've been trying to get me since April 5th, you would have already received some sort of information from me. So I would make sure that you're reaching out to the right email address, but we're not, if you're asking for proof of funds or for me to explain this to a realtor, or if you have a broker or realtor calling us to ask us information about being the trustee and when the funds are coming and more information on it like that, I can't professionally give an exact date of when we're going to have the funds in. So we're not even going there. We're not going to, until funds are in, we can't provide proof of funds to anyone. And again, for those that came in late, because I know we've had about 60 people come in the last 10 minutes. We don't have funds in. From what I've been told, they are working on end of February, 1st of March, which means we have, us included, have a long wait time ahead of us. A lot longer than what we've been told by Hauser and everyone else, because we have bombarded them. Plus, they're still on limited staff from COVID, and they're doing hiring sprees of, you know, lots of 15 to 18-year-olds. So, you know, the 45 to 60-day waiting period is obviously not the case as of now, because the movement has grown, and so has the amount of paperwork that they're getting. So if your money in whatever country that you're in, you're a U.S. citizen, so you should still, you should still be able to file the 56. If you're considered a U.S. citizen and you have a social security number, you should be able to send the 56 to the Treasury. From what I understand, the Treasury holds all of the money anyway. They're like the central bank. You do not ever want to use the 56 to make yourself a trustee. You can't be a trustee as a beneficiary. That's not possible in trust law. So don't even try to attempt to do that. I have corrected my status. Do I have to pay taxes on real estate? I am asking for the expense sheet. If you're going to close at a title company, you're going to have to pay the initial taxes. The only way to get out of that is, for some reason, if you're doing a bill of sale person to person and you're not including anything with title, because the people that had the house prior to you were responsible for taxes. So therefore you have to meet in the middle on that at the closing table, and then file a land patent after that to move forward and not have to pay them in the future. We're going to be getting more information up on our website as soon as I get some more. We're going to start putting some stuff up on our website that has to do with allodial titles and land patents, so that you can start doing some research on that as well. Because I know a lot of people don't understand it because we don't hear about it ever, really.
You mailed the 1099-A, never filed one online. Is it necessary to do so? No. If you mailed it to us, you do not have to file anything online.
You heard that the White House shut down the IRS and the Treasury. How does that affect all of this? The Treasury is not going to get shut down. When quantum financial system rolls out, the Treasury is still going to be working for us, because the Treasury works for the people. The IRS is a collection agency that works for the Treasury. So the IRS, yes, I've heard this is going to be shut down, but the Treasury is not shutting down. But they're supposed to be still working for the Treasury for at least a year or so after NESARA hits, from what I've read and understand. But I don't have intel on that, so. Now, if any of you have property that you're asking about a land patent or a allodial title on now, You can't file a land patent or an allodial title fully own the property outright. You can't have a balance owed or anything like that. It has to be completely paid off, and you have to have full ownership of that land or house or whatever you're putting the land patent on. So if you're asking to do that now on something that you still owe money on, you can't do that.
So if you think the car is going to be sold before the funds come in, then you're just going to need to put make and model. You don't need to put a VIN number and do all that, because yeah, more than likely the lot's not going to hold on to it for 60 days.
Or really more than that.
Or more than that. So you're better off to know what the cost is going to be. And then when the funds come in, order the car. Yes, that's supposed to be Secretary of Treasury. I thought it had been fixed. So
I don't know what someone said. When will we help those of us waiting for clarification? I don't know what you're waiting for clarification on. What if my trustee is a thief and won't reach me back? I cannot answer that, except be careful who you use as a trustee, because make sure that they have an agreement in place and everything else to protect you. That's why we have a agreement in place between the two of us to protect both us and you. So, but yeah, be careful. Just like we've had a lot of spam and scammers in this movement since we started, you have a lot of people that are wanting to step up and be a trustee because they see dollar signs versus helping the people. So be careful with that. Please be careful with that, and be careful who you use as a trustee. Be careful if it's a family member and how close of a family member it is. Be careful with that, because there's a very, very, very fine line in trust law.
no, one house, one car. You can't do the house, the car, the boat, the RV, the motorcycle. You need to be realistic with some of this, guys.
Yeah, and if you are asking for $15 million and up and that type of thing, we're not going to be the trustee for you, because if you are asking for that amount, not knowing what is in your trust account, and you write a check that isn't going to cash, we don't want to partner on that with you, because it is not in your best interest. It's not in our best interest. So, you know, if you're asking, you, even in the highest dollar places, you can get a nice property for, you know, under $15 million. So,
all right, so I'm gonna address this right here. Can you please address the fact that our paperwork went to the right place? There's some controversy stating that if it went to Austin, that it's not the right place. Well, our business is in Texas. The processing center for Texas is Austin. The paperwork that we have sent to the Treasury originally goes to Austin, because we've gotten a few things back with it stamped from Austin. So everything we do processing wise goes to Austin. So I know that there's other people talking about you got to send the 1040V here and you got to send this here and that. No, our processing center is Austin. Point blank, end of discussion. If you are using us as a trustee, our business is in Texas. We have to file the paperwork according to our business, not where you live, not where something else is, but according to our business. So we send everything, or we take everything to Austin. That is the processing center. We have not gotten anything back from Austin that says otherwise.
Yes, Stacy, when we receive the money, but need to use a contractor to do additional work, which was factored in, do you guide us in finding a contractor? Yeah, we can help you find a contractor. Hopefully by then we'll have one in our group that's in your area. If not, yes, we'll help locate one. Yes, if you're homeless, someone said, can this work if you're homeless? If you're homeless, absolutely. You have a social security number, you have a trust account set up, you can file a 1099-A. Mr. Fix-It in Atlanta, send me a request and I'll put you in our construction group. Or if you're on Telegram and you want to reach out to one of the admins, they can put you in there also. So either send me, put construction network or whatever into the subject line and I'll drop you the link, or else one of the admins can drop you in there.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that? It's up there, even past
David.
Okay.
So with 1099-A, accepted means approved to them. And then if you actually go through and read, it'll state that if there's nothing wrong with the file, they will release the file in 10 calendar days. That means they're going to send it to the IRS if there's nothing wrong with the file after they've approved it or accepted it. So then they send it to the IRS, and then it sits there and waits until it's matched up with an OID and the rest of the paperwork to receive the funds. Go ahead and answer. I'm just going to.
What?
I was going to text Christian.
Yes, we can help. If you're in California, we can help you. We have a lot of people in California that we're helping. So it doesn't matter where you're located. We're helping people all over the world. Australia, Costa Rica, UK, all over. So we can help you. And if you look at our YouTube channel and our Telegram at how much growth we've had since we started, we, you know, we'll hopefully have a lot of more connections joining us as people start to gradually wake up to this process and to other processes and, you know, other movements. So, if a person has bills in the home that are in a recently deceased family member's name and they use a 1099-A in their name to pay the bills, if you're an heir to that estate, yes, you can. Again, for people that joined us late, no, we have not received funds on anything. However, we did get feedback that they're working on February and March, early March right now. So there is a bit longer of a wait time than what we were expecting. You know, hitting them at tax time and with all of the forms, you know, and people fighting for different things and people sending in the 1099-As through Chris, you know, from Chris's movement and from our movement and from Midwest movement, we've bombarded them. So we obviously, the 45 to 60 day waiting period no longer applies, unfortunately, for all of us, including us. Let's see. Again, the ebook is on our website that's pinned at the top of the chat. The ebook and agreement are both on the website.
So guys, I know there's been a bunch of questions or requests for the Telegram link. The link is now in the chat. So I think it'll be available for about an hour to an hour and a half after the live. So just letting you know, anybody that's looking for the link to the Telegram, it is now in the chat.
Texian dropped it, so. Thank you, Nancy Crawford. We're trying. We're trying.
Oh, that's cool. Brick Doors spoke with T-Mobile directly. They said they accept coupons. I will update my success in a few days. Hey, that's great to know.
I have T-Mobile. You're not going to get a response from Janet Yellen. You're sending the 56 in, but you're not going to get anything back. If you send a green card, that's the only thing that you should get back. Those go on file and they stay on file and they don't notify you.
I don't know why the Telegram group says restricted. So unless they've got it closed just for the...
Oh yeah, they may have it closed. They usually close it down when we have a live so that it can be monitored.
Yeah, a lot of jobs are not accepting the W-8BEN when you fill it out. You just have to file that separately at the end of the year when you send in your tax returns. You can file the W-8BEN yourself. But if you filed exempt, you should be fine. You're married. What name do you use to sign your 1099-A if you're under your married name? Your married name. That's what's on if that's what's on your social, that's what you're going to put on your 1099-A. And that's what you're going to sign.
If you never updated your social, you won't though. But yeah. Okay, we're not addressing that anymore. Oh, here's another testimony. Hello, just got a letter from Chase Freedom and my remittance coupon was accepted.
That's great.
I'm writing your name down. So hopefully you'll be okay with giving your testimony on our page. If not, I understand, but the more testimonies we have, the more we can drown out the noise of those that are trying to discredit our movement. Okay, because there's a lot of those out there that are trying to discredit what we're doing. And that's not just Drew and I. That's when you discredit our movement, we're all in this together. Drew and I don't look at this as our movement. This is our movement with all of you. So when someone comes in to discredit us, the more testimonies that we have to back up what we're saying and what we're doing is working, the better. So hopefully you look at giving your testimony in that aspect and not, you know.
Hey, McCullough, I would hold on to those 1099-As. If you've got a lot of them, and if anybody's needing one, you know, maybe on Telegram or something, you could reach out to people that are need help. But I would hold on to as many of them as possible because I don't ever know.
Here's the deal with that. I don't know any intel. I don't know anything of what I'm saying right now or what I'm about to say, whether it's true or not. Okay. So don't hold me to this. But I have reason to think that this might be part of how we're going to utilize the quantum financial system later on by utilizing the 1099-A process. Because, and the reason I say that, and I don't know this to be true, but rumor has it that Tesla is going to start accepting 1099-As, publicly, making it publicly known that they're going to start accepting 1099-As in the third quarter of the year. Okay. So if that's the case, based on other truthers that I put my trust in, it lines up with what Tesla is saying. And I am hoping that I'm right. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to utilize the 1099-A going forward, with other dealerships and things like that. But being that Tesla is on the front lines of some of the Patriot things, I believe that might be an indication of where the 1099-A is headed. So I would hang on to my hard copies because you might need them down the road. You don't have to use the whole sheet of the 3. You can cut, even though it says do not cut. If you look at your, if you've ever been a contract employee and you've gotten a 1099-A at the end of the year, I've never had 3 of them come to me. I've always had 1 cut off come to me. So if you're only using 1, just cut that off and I use a straight edge cutter when I do it, like my Cricut cutter, so that it's a straight line and not, crazy crooked and all that. But you don't have to use all 3 and waste the whole sheet.
Can I send a 1099 to Harp so they will send cooler weather to Texas? I mean, David, you might have to send 3 or 4 sheets of 1099-As over there. with different people's information, so they'll get enough money to cool it down here.
Well, David Wallashak, I guess is the name. Curious who you're helping when you haven't received funds on one account. Well, we're helping the people, and it's a waiting game to get the funds. Nothing great happened overnight. So, you know, I'm not sure why you're here if that's how you feel, but, you know, keep watching. They're coming. Let's see. Where did that go?
Which one?
It's gone.
Or what matching frames?
Our
glasses?
No.
I've had mine for almost 3 years, so.
I'm real blind. I have a real bad situation going on. If I wear contacts, I have to wear reading glasses. If I don't wear contacts, I have to have computer glasses, these. And then I have faraway glasses. And then I have sunglasses. And then I have contact. You know, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So if you're needing a notary, and SK, I thought I saw that you said something about needing a notary in Texas, or somebody else did. If you're needing a notary in Texas, Tara's actually a notary and there's probably some others in our notary site on Telegram, on our notary channel.
Just let me know that you need one and I'll point one in your direction. Okay, we'll just answer a few more questions and then call it a night. And
right there's somebody that's an online notary. So if y'all want to find, her name's Sharon C. And Chantel Winfrey is also a notary in Texas. They're actually, when we say the IRS is behind on processing, it's processing taxes. They're going to be processed before our 1099-As are processed.
How are you helping people in other countries? How can we help family members in South America, like Colombia? How do we find out the forms that they need? You can look and see what forms in South America are equivalent to acquisition and abandonment. So look for the forms that are acquisition and abandonment, and those will be the forms that they use. And as long as they have a social insurance number or social security number, they have a trust. Denora Brown, all of these notaries that are speaking up, if you want to drop me an email, just in the subject line, put notary, and I'll drop you the link to get into that group.
There's several.
Yeah,
Alfini Ware.
So there's so many. If you just want to send me an email and ask me for a link to that, I'll put you in that group.
We've got some realtors in the Dallas area.
We have a lot of realtors in the Dallas area, actually. So, and if any of you realtors on here are in Texas, primarily probably Austin, San Antonio, Corpus, Houston, Dallas, Victoria, Central Texas, Bryan College Station area, anywhere in the central and northern part of Texas, my broker is on board with us. I talked to my broker and my broker assistant very thoroughly this week about the movement that we're in, and they are watching, they're learning through us, they're on board with it. So if you're wanting to switch brokerages because yours isn't allowing you to talk about this, you have an opportunity at our brokerage. They work in all of those areas. Just reach out to me and I'll get you connected with them. And it's a really good brokerage to be a part of. Two young guys, very motivated, work with a lot of investors. They do a lot of education and a lot of, podcasts and stuff too. So it's a really good opportunity for you if you're interested in changing brokerages in Texas.
So to answer one more time, we're on the last 10 days or so of May. The last part of May. So if you have sent us anything in May, we will get that done for you guys this week and into the first part of next week. And then we should be getting into June. So
what else was I going to say?
I did drop the email again. Somebody had asked for it.
Yeah. And if anyone is wanting to make a donation to help people in need within our movement while we're waiting on funds, since it's going to be longer than we expected, please feel free to use our Cash App, our Venmos, our Zelles that we have put out there. You can use either one of ours. You can put donations in the subject line. We keep a track of that on what's donations and what's filing. So as long as you put what it's for, then we'll use it for that purpose. And until we get our Give, Send, Go link. Not using GoFundMe. We'll never use GoFundMe, but Give, Send, Go. Once we get that up, and I don't know what the problem is, but once we figure that out, you can do it there. But until then, if you want to help, we are trying to help people. So also, if you have heard about the reevaluation that's supposed to happen and that how precious metals is going to be coming once the NASERA kicks off and the quantum financial system is publicly announced, and our money is again back to buy gold and silver, you might want to consider ahead of time investing in silver. If you want to, let us know. We can drop you a link to the silver that we buy from. And you can invest monthly into silver so that you can build your stock of that if you want to. So those are just some opportunities that we have right now. Yeah, I think that's about it, right?
So, yeah, anybody that is a realtor or a broker that wants to be part of our group, I'm going to drop the realtor email address in, so you can actually go to this email address and putting the wrong one. And then that way you can ask for the Telegram link to get into the realtor network.
R, is that an R?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hope I spelled it right. I mean, I don't know. And also I saw something else. Oh, the link. So Telegram is open, guys. So you should be able, you don't have to actually use the link. You can actually now get into it.
Yeah,
but
so
it's still listed in the chat. You can go in through the chat, and then that way you can go in the chat and actually get the link to the Telegram, but we're not going to have to drop the link to it anymore. We're going to leave the public chat open and not have it as restricted. So,
but if but it'll still be monitored. If there's anyone coming in to discredit our movement, to disrespect anyone within our movement, there are still rules that apply to being able to stay in there without getting banned from it, because we're not going to just let it go crazy. And, you know, it needs to be, comments need to be within what we're doing within our movement. Otherwise, there's the common law lounge and other places to go and talk about other things. So if you'll just, you know, which everyone's pretty much respectful and we don't have issues, but please, just going forward, if you have questions, read the ebook first. Let's try to, you know, our admins do this voluntarily. They work around the clock to help us out, and they are bombarded with questions that are answered in the ebook. And, you know, we can't just spend our time just providing the answers that we provide over and over when they're right and they've been laid out for you. So please be respectful of them and their time and the fact that they work and they have families too, and let them answer the questions that are absolutely nowhere to be found, versus the ones that are, you know, within the book, if you will. That would be very helpful for them, and it would, because we don't want to run off our good admins. We need them. All of us need them at some point to help us, because everyone has expertise in other areas that maybe we don't have it in. So having the team of admins that we have on board is super beneficial for you guys and us. And we just need to be respectful of what we're asking of them.
So if you're new to this and want to get started, you can always go to the website. I have it pinned at the top of the chat. It gives you all the videos that we've done. It also has other documents in there. It has our agreement, has kind of a step-by-step breakdown with the ebook on how you need to file your paperwork. So that's the first place to go. And then you can also join the Telegram chat group and get into there, and that will actually give you more education, ability to ask other people questions. So
okay, so if you want to invest in the precious metals, someone said that, just I'll write your name down. If you'll send me an email and just drop that silver or something like that, precious metals, into the subject line, I'll send you the link that you need to go to for that. And then
a new beginning. Yes. I do have we have your information. I know who you are, so I'll get in touch with you.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. Are you good with that?
Yep.
Okay. And I don't know when we'll be back. I don't want to commit, but probably Monday or Wednesday. Not sure yet. We'll see how our weeks go now that it's summertime and things are a little bit busy with family, and we have family coming in to visit us, and Drew's kids will be in to visit us. So we're going to be a little bit limited on some of the things that we, you know, have done throughout the week, but we'll let you know ahead of time whenever we're going to be back. It'll be either Monday or Wednesday, most likely. And if we decide to do a Telegram live, we'll put it out there and let you know. So, okay, let's bow in prayer. And dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this time together. We thank you for continuing to grow our movement and to use us as a light in your dark world that we live in today. And Lord Jesus, we know that you are waking people up in your time, not in our time, and that you're using us as vessels to do that, Lord Jesus. So help give us the patience that we need to be able to carry on and to continue the fight. Help us to not let the doubters and those that discredit us to lose our faith. Lord Jesus, just continue to light a fire in us that only you can do. and help us to carry on in your way. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to meeting up here with you guys again next week. Talk to you later.
Bye.